Now, we've done our due diligence from a superficial level.
Yep.
We've allowed them to come in because we've seen that stuff is there. In a micro level, if you want to invest with that person now, you need to go do your due diligence.
Absolutely.
And so the way that these things happen from Quest that I've seen is it used to be the Tuesday morning meeting.
Yep.
Now, y'all still do the Tuesday morning networking?
So starting the new year.
Okay, this is good.
Yeah, so we're getting back to a lot of
D's dropping some gems.
I know.
He's dropping gems.
We're getting back to our in-person event. And when is this being aired?
This will be aired in two Saturdays.
All right.
Okay. What do you want me to do? Because I can release this whenever.
No. So I hope I just don't get in trouble by our marketing team because we haven't made an official announcement yet. But we're bringing back the Real Quest Expo, the big one in person. Where the last time we had 1,200 people show up.
I can't remember who I talked to, but I remember complaining about it not being live.
Yeah. So we've been doing and we call it Quest Con,
yes,
which is our best we can do online. But we didn't want to label it as the Quest Expo because the Expo is its own beast. And next year we're bringing that back full swing in person.
What day?
I don't know yet. But
what is being bantied about?
It will probably be right around the August timeframe.
Okay, well, hopefully I'm still alive by then. Yeah. I loved being on. I love doing it. Okay, so also, in all fairness, Jason Bible and I have started this idea for a new podcast, and I contacted Derreck about this. So be on the watch for this one. It's called Bourbon, Business, and Beaches. It's all about drinking whiskey, talking about business, and talking about lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Because if you can't make it to a beach, then you probably don't need to be on the podcast. Your goal needs to be, how do I spend more time by the beach with my toes in the sand? Yeah. I mean, that's the goal, right?
It is.
And y'all provide a vehicle that is so necessary in order for people to be able to get there faster. Yeah. That tax-free vehicle.
Yeah. One of the things that I've learned in the last 2 years, and this was something that was a big eye-opener, is the first time I got a real check that was cash flow, something I didn't have to work for. Something that I knew was whether I showed up to work, whether I woke up or not, no matter what was happening, was cash flow coming in. And it was a small check. I want to say it was like $120.
Right.
But until you start getting that cash flow, it's honestly addicting.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. So I have this... because it's easy to invest in, I have this stock that I've been investing in called SLVO.
Okay.
It's a Credit Suisse Silver Share ETN, not an ETF. It's an ETN, an exchange traded note. And it's basically like they're just doing a covered call option, and you're getting paid a dividend every month for being in this exchange traded note. So when I first got in, it was 32 cents a share on a $6 stock.
Not bad.
So it was like a 46% return, right? Well, then it started gradually as the price of silver started going down. It went down. Like I got 2 cents last month. It's addicting though. So I started looking for more. And so I've gone and found these, and I'm big into doing monthly dividend stocks.
Absolutely.
Pay you monthly.
I like the monthly stuff.
I love monthly.
That's why I like so I have 2 rentals right now that on a monthly basis, each cash flow in between $500 to $700 a month.
Okay.
They're both debt leveraged, but $500 a month doesn't sound like a lot.
It is a lot. It's huge.
But the difference really comes down to that's a car.
Right.
I now have a free car.
Right.
You have the other $500 to $700 one. Man, I'm almost covering a mortgage payment.
So, yeah. No, you're 100% right. Keep going. I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt you, or I'm going to piggyback onto your thought in 1 second.
Well, no. So, like at some point, you're like, wow, I know you can't live off $500 a month, but you're eliminating a bill. You're eliminating something that you don't have to work for anymore. And I think too many people have gotten used to that. Well, I have to work to make my $500. And now that I make my $500, I'm going to go buy something. Man, no, if I could do something one time, own that rental, own that note, own that, whatever that passive investment is where I don't have to exchange my time for dollars, that changes your life. It doesn't have to be that $1 million.
Right. So two things. One, we began the show with you need to start thinking differently, in that everybody is basically brainwashed into the same comforting deal.
Absolutely.
I go to work, I come home, I buy expenses, and then I've got to work more to cover more expenses.
Yep.
And then I've got to pray at the end of my life that my Social Security and inflation don't wash each other out.
Yeah.
So what Derreck is talking about, and what I'm going to challenge people on, is we're getting really close to the end of this year.
Yeah.
You need to be the thing that changed my life was the Chris Funk vision board. He had 2 vision boards. One was the 5-year and one was next year. Mm-hmm. So I went and made a vision board, and out of my vision board was I wanted to travel the world. So I needed a passport. So I went and got a passport. I was 44 years old before I got a passport. Before I left the country, I had this whole view of what Mexico was.
You're in your 40s?
I'm in my 40s.
Yeah, you look good.
I'm 47.
Damn. I'm sorry.
So I'm 47. Yeah, I am old. I am old, and I have a dad bod. But I'm working on it. I'm back. I'm out of the honeymoon. I've drank all the drinks at the unlimited drink resort. But I had this vision in my mind of what Mexico was before I got there. And then once I got there, I'm realizing the wall is being created to keep the trash from the United States from going to Mexico, not to keep Mexico from coming over to Texas. I don't know who in Mexico would rather live here than there. I would rather live there all the time. But I don't know. My dollar goes a lot farther over there.
So there is definitely some very pretty places. You know, my wife, she's Hispanic, and when we get to go down there, especially with her parents and her grandma and stuff, Mexico is actually very pretty. It is unbelievable there, especially if you go to the right areas.
Yeah.
Not Rocky Point.
Yeah. But I'm going to come back, and you're talking about that $500 check. Okay. So that $500 check takes someone from, let's say they were making $3,000 net a month to live on. Now they've increased it by what? That's like, what is that? I don't know. What's the percentage that they've just increased? 60%?
Just about.
Yeah. You've increased your wealth by 60% by having one cash flowing asset that generates $500 a month. It doesn't take that much. And you just hit the nail on the head. You said it was a leverage asset. So if you don't know about that, what you need to do is get your ass up here to one of these meetings or one of your meetings and learn how to borrow from someone who has money. They're looking for an investment to sink their teeth into. Maybe you may not get one person. You may get 2 or 3 people. We're banting about what's called a private money boot camp, a 1-day deal where we'll teach you kind of like how to go and talk to people. We'll put you through a couple of exercises. Talk to people. You know, the best deal I did was with this guy, Jim Kennedy. Your dad would know Jim Kennedy. He would always wear these big floral shirts, and he was a big gregarious guy. And his deal was he got up in one class that Brant Phillips and I were teaching a long time ago. We did this deal. Brant did it. It was called Flipping Houston Live. Okay, people paid $4.97.
Brant's a good guy. If you guys don't know him, check him out.
Brant also wrote a private money book. Brant, I just released Brant's podcast this last week. Brant was on. I think I tagged you in it. I'm not sure. But yeah, Brant, I released the Brant thing. Brant and I were on for like an hour and 30 minutes talking. It was unreal. So I couldn't believe it. Brant sent me a message this morning. He said, "Hey, I watched our podcast. I'm going to get back to Jim Kennedy in a second." He said, "I watched our podcast," and he said the best thing that came about it was that we've reconnected our friendship. It was gone for a while. In doing the podcast, we were real and honest about it. But I'm looking at my life and I'm going, here's someone that I have grown up with, and we've grown up hacking the same real estate tools. Steve Davis was our mentor. We went to Lifestyles.
Yep.
Quest IRA is where we go and borrow a ton of money. I have borrowed and had payoffs from so many Quest accounts. Quest has been like my second biggest vehicle for success. If I want to, if you want to hack your life in a microwave sense, like I need to speed up the amount of time that I can get into real estate, I go to Quest. That's the second thing. And the third thing is I would go to these private events like what you're talking about, QuestCon.
Yep.
Not free. It's a paid event. But you're paying to hack your life really quick.
Guys, if you're ever worried about paying for events, understand that most of them are $50, $100. Dude, you're going to drop $100 at the bar. Like,
yeah. You're going to, right now it costs you $12 or around $10 to go through the drive-thru at McDonald's and get a shitty burger.
Yeah.
Understand this. You're getting a shitty burger and bad customer service for $10. 5 of those is 1 week. If you just did and said for 1 month, I just want to bring my I'm going to listen to podcasts every day. Okay, you can listen to my show. You could listen to Steve's. You could Google and you guys do like y'all do your own podcast, Lunch and Learns.
Yep.
I was just on a Lunch and Learn. Y'all do these Lunch and Learns. You could sit in your car each day and start feeding your mind. And Jim Kennedy would always do one thing. He would come up and say, "Hey, my name's Jim Kennedy. I'm a real estate investor. Could I interest you in finding out more about how you could earn greater than the normal rate of return on your real estate investments?"
Absolutely. Like, who would say no to that?
What's the normal rate of return? That's the question, right?
Yes.
That's the question that would come back to him. I'm glad you asked. The normal rate of return is about 6%. I'm willing to pay more than the normal rate of return. Now it may be 7%. Who knows? But whatever the normal rate of return, he didn't say, "Hey, can I borrow? I'm going to give you 15% interest."
Yep. That's
now the unicorn. There's too many people out there offering money.
Yeah.
What are some normal deal structures that you guys are running into?
Well, so for me as an individual, nothing to do with Quest, right? But back in 2018, 2019, I do a lot of private loans to a lot of fix and flippers, and I charge 1% a month. Fancy way of saying 12% a year.
Right. Okay.
Right.
1% a month. I like this. See, this is a hack. So now we're going to transition from the people borrowing to, if you're a lender, here's a useful gem that you can use that makes it sound a much softer. Oh, I charge 1%.
Absolutely, right? And I'd always do that as a sales tactic because people are like, "Oh, that doesn't sound bad." And it's 1% a month, which is really 12% a year.
Okay.
The problem with it is I can't even get 12% anymore because you know what? You're a lender as well, right? So if you're going to lend money, well, if Derreck's giving you 12, I'll give you 11. And
I am now offering more for my private loans, but I'm offering me as well as maybe like, hey, I'll give you some advice.
Yeah,
I'll help you with contractors. I'll help you save money. So I'm going to charge you more, but I'm offering a little bit more.
You also have something.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm thinking about this back in those days, this means that real estate is always evolving. All right. And I think this is very important to understand because sometimes we get hooked up with someone that's not an active real estate investor anymore. Sometimes we get hooked up with someone that they're so focused on their coaching programs or something like that they're no longer doing real estate. Well, that means that in 3 or 4 years, a lot of what you might be going through could be outdated tactics. And I see it all the time.
Ooh, this is good. This is another gem drop from D.
So this doesn't mean that I think everyone out there needs a mentor. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of mentorship programs I think are fantastic that will really help someone get to where they need to be. They introduce people to active real estate investors. But one of the things you need to be making sure is, all right, if I was able to charge 12% prior, what can I charge now? Now, if I still want to try to get my 12%, I need to maybe structure things differently. It doesn't mean I still can't get it, but I got to think outside of the box. This is actually where a lot of syndications started to come into play, those multifamily deals, those senior living complexes, those...
Or your oil and gas thing.
Yep, the oil and gas thing.
There's a company out there that I know was it for a minimum of $10,000. Golly, I don't even know what it is, but they do like micro borrowing from people. They'll do a couple of these. And you guys not promote them, but Brian found out about them through y'all.
Yeah. Well, so what's funny is one of the ways I started doing loans because I wanted to keep my 12%.
Okay.
Is I switched gears from doing a first lien to a second lien position.
Oh, a gap borrower. He's lending on maybe the closing cost or maybe the rehab money.
That's correct. And
ooh, okay. So you guys, this is another good point. Derreck's bringing. Man, you've been full of gold nuggets all day today, dropping gems.
It's funny. Second lien positions have a very bad rap.
Yeah, they do.
Right? But it's most of the time it's because someone just doesn't know what they're doing. Prime example is one of my most recent second liens I did. I went to do a loan, or a borrower asked me and they said, "Hey, Derreck, I need 10 grand for a property." Right? Now, obviously for 10 grand, I'm probably not going to get a first lien position, so I already know it was a second lien position. All I told the guys, I said, "Hey, can I talk to the person in first lien position? I want to make sure that they know you need more funds."
Okay, you need to be pausing this and getting your pen right now. So I want you to repeat that real quick. Yeah. So, okay, you have your pen. All right. Yeah. Okay, he's getting ready to give you a couple point by point things that you should note.
Yeah. So first off, I said, "Hey, great. I will give you a second lien position. I have no issues with that." But
you wanted to talk to the first step was I want to talk to the first lien.
I want to know who's in first lien. I want to talk to them. Okay. I want to make sure they know you need more money. You know who was the first lien position? Jet Lending. Okay. Eddie Gant, and it wasn't actually Jet Lending. I always say it was Eddie Gant actually directly.
Ooh, Eddie Gant direct.
Yeah. And what was really funny is he goes, "Well, the borrower didn't ask me. I'll give him another 10 grand. Boop. So I lost my position. However, I think that's very important to understand that sometimes if you need more money, don't be afraid to ask your lender. At the same time, I've done this where the first lien position says, "Hey, that's not a problem, right? I understand they need more money because of XYZ." And in this specific case, the borrower needed more money just for mold issues that he wasn't expecting during his rehab. It doesn't mean the deal's bad. Finally, all right, as we went through the motions, I said, "You know what we're going to do is I'm still going to charge you my 1% a month, right? Because that's what I want. On 10 grand, that's $100.
Dude, that's great.
Right? But a borrower can handle that. And I said, "I'm also going to charge you 3 points, but I'm going to collect my points on the back end."
Awesome.
Now, as a borrower, if you need that money, that sounds fantastic because you can get away with this. And if we listen to it, I'm actually getting really 15%. Right? I got my 3 points. I got my 1% a month, fancy way, right? The 12% a year.
This is the reason why we're doing this Bourbon Business and Beaches podcast, because you are a little I'm going to change your name. Not from Tax Avoidant Ninja. You're a cash flow ninja.
Dude, I love it. And it was funny because once I did one of them, the word got out there like, "Dude, Derreck will do a second lien." Suddenly I now have 5-6 people reaching out needing these small loans. 5,000, 10,000.
And you're doing these podcasts and talking about it. And then when people watch it, now they will come. Okay, so let's wrap here. Leave people with a couple of takeaways. So that was the number one. Those are the kind of the 4 things that you would do. What's something else that you want to leave people with? What's the next thing coming up for Quest, or the next thing that people can get involved with you?
So as far as Quest is concerned, check out our events. We have
QuestIRA.com?
QuestTrust.com.
QuestTrust.com.
Yeah, QuestTrust.com. We have about 3 to 4 events a week that are always free. 100% free. And about once a quarter, we try to do a big event where we bring in speakers from across the U.S. to talk about different areas. And those we typically have to charge for. They're like $50. Make sure you check out those events. Get your education where you can. All right. Nailed it. You don't charge anything for this podcast. It's completely free for people to listen to. And you can get good education in very specific areas, and then reach out to the individuals. Reach out to the speakers. Reach out to Brent. Brent will answer your call and email right away who you're talking about. You can reach out to you. Reach out to me. Don't be afraid to ask the questions you need and reach out to those individuals you need help from.
Awesome. Well, Dee, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Derreck Long, Quest Trust Company. You have been listening to Nailed It. We will see you on the next episode.
Bye, guys.